Hi all. Today we will discuss about Siemens interview questions. So in Siemens we have a third round, three round happen in that, and what are the interview questions as asked in the first round, second round, and third round. We will discuss about this. So when I went for the first round of interview, in that time they asked some of the written questions. So the written questions with this the scenario they given a list of the number which have a1 a2 a3 up to an, and you need to find the smallest number from the list that is repeated in the list exactly k number of times. So the input they have given, input was this first line of input contains single value and size of list. Second line of input contain n space separated integer, and third line input contain single value of k. So these all are the input format which was given by the interviewer in this first question, and the output was a smallest integer number that is repeated exactly k numbers of time. And this is the scenario 0 less than n less than this, and others is 0 less than equal to k less than this, and this 0 less than ai less than this. So the note is here, there will be at least one variable which is repeated k times. So this is the scenario which has given the first interview questions on the first round, and we need to write a program for that. So the input has given, output is given, and constant is also given. So this is the notes. And the second questions also they asks related for this programmatical one. The class A has to generate a random numbers, and it has to notify class B when it generated a composite number. Class B has to print a number whenever it received a notification. So for that we need to provide the code. So how you will write this logic, what are the programmatical steps you will be followed, and the complexities and all they will check. So this is the second question which is asked in the written of the first round, and the second round, the third questions which was there in the first round only. The program has to search for a word in the data structure of multi-millions entry, write a library, what library and mechanism within Java you recommend to minimize the time of search. So mostly they will focus about this, some of the logical questions related for data structures, algorithms, and action framework. So this is the scenario where we have to write this program to search the word. And the last questions which was there in this given a list of a string and to this, and the same repeated questions. Yes, I think I put it here. And this last questions was there. So after that, see, in this we have the first given scenarios and the input has given, and the second this is the scenario, and then constant also given, the same as the first question which we discussed. And after that we have a sample input, and this time limit of 1 second for each input file. The last instance was complete the merge string function. It has two parameters, one is string, another is string B. So we have a string A and a string B. Your function must merge string A and B and then return single merged string. So a merge operation between two strings described below. Append alternative characters from A and B respectively to sum of new string merged. Others is once all the characters in one of the strings have been merged, append of remaining characters in the other string to be merged string. And then others we have use only one single iteration to merge the string. So these three descriptions they given while we are doing to merge this string from A and B. So how you will do? And sample input is S1 is equal to AB, S2 equal to ZSD, and output will be A, Z, B, S, D, like this. So this is the scenario which has given the first round of interview. So we have 5 programs which has been given. If you will clear this first 5 program or maybe first round, then after that there will be some second round of questions will happen. So mostly we have a 3 round of interview in that. So second round technical interview will be happen for 3 round. So second round mostly will have a 40 to 45 minutes and all approx. So in that mostly they will cover all those questions related to a project, work, experience and all. So first questions they ask project description with end to end, only the part which you worked. So whatever end to end you are describing, so what are the modules and part you developed, customized or worked, that thing only he want. And what is the main OOPS principle and where you used in your project and why. What are the OOPS principles you used, where and why. Then other questions like which Java version you familiar, just give a brief about on these features, about these features. So whatever the version you used in Java, just give the brief features, details and all. And then fourth questions they ask like what all are the features introduced as a part of Java 9. So if you use Java 9, then you can tell all the features of Java 9 and where you used in your project. Then we'll have a Java Stream API will give a better performance to compare with Java 7 approach. So can you prove? So if you have a options, then you can prove this one. Then others like what are the methods present in object class and why 3-weight method overloaded method, what is the purpose of this. And then did you aware on concurrent API. So what are the new DS introduced in this concurrent API, just give a brief discussion about that. So this concurrent and then others questions like what is generic in Java, did you used as part of your project, if yes then where you used and what is the purpose of that, like this. And how you expose your REST API service, write some snip code where you have used REST API, what are the method and services you used, how you communicate from this API to this controllers by using service and then repository. So that questions. And after that, what is the difference between path variable, request params, when should you choose which one, what is path variable, where you used path variable, and like this. So after that they ask this generic in Java. Then after that we have how to expose your REST services. So you will ask for this code snip. And then path variable, request param, they ask when to use path variable, when to use request param. And then other questions they ask like did you work in a Spring security, if you will tell yes, then what is the approach you configure, either you XML or Java. So which approach you used in XML or configuration. So if you configure, then why 3 overloaded method provided in Spring security, configuration adapter, what is the purpose of each. So like that they will ask if you worked on a Spring security and all. Then after that like I want to stop some process before of my server, how can I achieve this. So this type of scenarios questions they ask. Then other question they ask what is the difference between SOAP web service and REST web service, in which case we should go for and which one, like this SOAP and REST. So what is difference and all. Then did you aware about WSDL, if yes then what are the component in WSDL and what is the purpose of that, which part you work to provide or provider and consumer, can you write a WSDL this is for this WSDL and all is for the SOAP web services related. So they give some a small scenario to explain WSDL structure for overloaded method, like public device get device info. So inside that we have a parameter in device ID, then public device get device info, a string device name. So and then ask some of the scenarios. So mostly this 17 interview questions as asked in second round of interview, and then mostly it happened for 40 to 45 minutes. And after that if you will clear the second round, then they will have a third round also. So third round ask based on the resume, whatever you have put it in the resume, mostly they will consider that point. So short intro about your project and technology, what all are the technology you worked, then what is data model. He gave one scenarios and tell me the approach of data model for the same. What is NoSQL, why purpose of using, the performance improvement and all, is there any performance improvement in NoSQL, and then what is AU spec did you used, and what all are the all Spring modules you worked. Just give a comparison whether that thing can be achieved a simple Java J2E. So if you are using a Spring module and before that we have a J2E, J2EE, so what is the comparison between? So is that simpler compared to J2EE? Give a real-time world example of a Spring transactions which all are using on daily life. Then other question, how can I configure data source in such a manner that it will not tightly couple with DB. Assume today I am using for Oracle, I want to migrate or move into MySQL future, so that time it should not impact of my business. So that type of questions they will ask. And where you use set and list in your project, just tell me the exact scenario, because we are using multi-where in this list and set, but they will ask some real scenario where you implemented. After my explanation, he asked some of the suppose I'm fetching bunch of employee record from the table and I want to store into the set. In this right approach, just give me some point to point answer like that. So how you store the data in employee record, and how you are fetching this, so when to use set, when to use list and all. Then other question they ask, what is this other question they ask, like what is Gisper, and what is the purpose it, did you ever used it, and then how you are deploying a microservice, what are the microservices, when to use microservices architecture. Then JSON, what is JSON, what is the XML, when to use JSON, how we will integrate from XML to JSON from the UI, how you will do the mappers and all, what all are the repository in a Spring Boot, and how will write if I have an entity price given sample. In a Spring Boot applications, .property file is there. So why we need this application.yaml, and what is the difference between application.yaml and property? Why a Spring Boot? Why not a Spring? Give point to point answer. Whatever the proper point will be there, he want a point to point answer for that. Why a Spring Boot is popular right now? Why not a Spring? What are the features we used and when to use? Another question they ask, assume I have an interface e-currency with get currency info local reference, then I have a multiple concurrent implementation. I have like a currency factor, so US currency factor like this injected both my services. So just I want to inject both and single instance. So how can we do the approach? So for that use case they'll be asked what are the use cases and all. Apart from this we have some other questions also they ask, but whatever I noted and mind, so that I have collected and this created with this. So mostly we'll have a 3 technical interview in Siemens, and these all are the questions. First round of interview, they will concentrate about data structures, algorithm, and some collections related questions, or programmatical logic. After that, if you will clear this first round, then there will have second round. This for second round will have your real-time project related questions. What are the technology and implementations you worked on that? And then third round mostly will cover resume. What are the resume point you mentioned related for technology, project, and others. So they will ask some of the scenarios and general questions they will ask like this. So these all are the questions which is covered by this Siemens interview questions. If you want other questions or other interview or other company related questions, let me know, I'll upload them. Yeah, thank you for that. Please subscribe or like my video. If you need this document also let me know, so that I'll upload this in my GitHub. Sure, thank you for that. Thank you.